Put a finger down if when you were 10 years old, your family got a membership at a country club that had a pool and you would get swimming lessons every single day with your older brother. And every day after swimming lessons, you would have a little bit of extra time just to play and have a good time. And your older brother always wanted to play the boy version of Mermaids with you. And if you don't know what the boy version of Mermaids is, it has nothing to do with mermaids. And it is just trying to drown the other person without the lifeguards noticing. And you did not like this game very much. You always complained when your brother wanted to play it. So your brother called you a wuss basket. And you were like, I don't like that nickname very much. But one day, a new girl walked into swimming lessons and you're like, oh my gosh, that's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life. And keep in mind, you're a 10-year-old kid, so you don't know much, but you do know that one day you are going to want to marry this girl. So you decide, you know what? I'm not going to be the wuss basket anymore. I'm going to be somebody else. I'm going to make a name for myself. So when it gets time to play mermaids after swim lessons, your brother starts going crazy. But guess what? You go even crazier. And guess what? You do this for a couple of days. You show him you're no wuss basket anymore. And you get to make up a new nickname for yourself. So you choose Spaceman because I guess Spaceman sounds cool. So then everybody in swim lessons calls you Spaceman. Even the lifeguards call you Spaceman because Spaceman's a really cool name. Flash forward 8 years later. You've been taking a lot of swim lessons. You become a really good swimmer. And you get a job as a lifeguard on a small beach off the coast of California. And it's a really hot summer day, and you go to the concession stand one day, and you're like, I need an icy. So you go to the concession booth, and you order an icy, and guess who's working the counter? The most beautiful girl you've ever seen. But guess what? It's your wife from when you were 10 years old, from the swimming lessons. You're like, oh my gosh, no way, is it you? And then she says, oh my gosh, it's the astronaut. And you're like, Spaceman, actually, but I mean, it's close enough. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry, haha. So you have a good time, and you catch up a little bit, and you're like, what you been up to? You find out that she's been homeschooled for the last couple of years, and after this summer she's going to go to college, and you're like, dang, this is very, very exciting. Keep on, you're on your break right now, you're slurping this icy, talking to this total babe, 10 out of 10, and you're just like, life's good right now, you know? And then you hear something, a very long, loud whistle. And then if you're a lifeguard, you know what that means. It means somebody is drowning. So you look off the coast of the beach into the ocean, and you see 3 boys. And they're like, oh, dang, that's not good. Because there's only one other lifeguard on duty right now, and there's 3 boys out there. So what do? You jump into action, right? You grab a little tube, a rescue tube, which is like those pool noodle thingies that those lifeguard has, and you run out to the ocean, right? And you're like, I got to save these kids. You forget about the girl who you just left behind right in the middle of this conversation because duty calls. And you see the lifeguard go, and he actually saves one of the kids, but there's still 2 more kids drowning out there. And then you jump into the ocean, and you start swimming, and you get the worst brain freeze of your entire life from this frickin' icy that you just drank. And you start literally like wincing and doing this and paddling with one arm. And you're like, this really sucks. But then you remember, the girl's behind you, and she's looking, and she's probably cheering you on. Last time, you made a name for yourself by trying to drown your brother. Now, it's time to save lives. So guess what? You lock in. You start swimming. You paddle. You go to one of the kids. You put him under the tube, and you're like, I got to save this other kid because there's not good enough time for the other lifeguard to get back or for you to get back to the shore. So you pull out a really weird maneuver where you grab him with the arm and you like roll him over onto the tube with the other guy, with you underneath, and then you kick and paddle as hard as you can with both the boys on top of the tube, thanks to your rolling maneuver. So you're kicking and you're paddling, and guess what? You make it to the shore, and you are dead tired. With your terrible brain freeze, you're like, this sucks. But then guess what? You're the hero of the day. The kid's parents come up to you. They're like, oh my gosh, you just saved my kid's life. Thank you so much. You're just like, no problem. It's all in a day's work, you know? And then other random people start coming up to you. They're like, oh my gosh, you're such a hero. They go to the other lifeguard as well. Like, you guys saved the day. You saved these kids' lives. And you're like, I'm just trying to like do my job, you know. It's just like it's just what I do. It's all too much conversation right now. You need to relax because you're so tired. You have a terrible brain freeze. So the other lifeguard, he pulls you to the side, and then he's like, "Yo, thanks for the help." And you're just like, "No problem, man." And then he says, "What was that rolling maneuver that you did over where it got deep?"
On today's episode of Why I Hate Working in Fucking Retail, but this time it's not because y'all are dumb. It's because y'all are rude and y'all don't know how to talk to people. Y'all don't know how to talk to people. It's a way to talk to people, and the way y'all be talking to people, because that's our job and we get paid to do it, that's actually crazy. And one day y'all gonna meet y'all match and somebody gonna beat y'all ass. But anyway, let's get into the story. So this was when I was a front-end supervisor at Sprouts. I literally would manage the front. I would manage the cashiers. I would send people on their breaks. I would cover breaks. I would count the money at the end of the night, you know, supervisor shit. So basically, I was in charge of the front end so that everybody else could do their jobs and they didn't have to worry about the cash registers. That was my job. So boom. I will never, ever, 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 ever do grocery ever again. How are you entitled in a grocery store? How do you have entitlement in a grocery store? Just get your fucking groceries, check out, and go home. Like, I would never work grocery ever again. Kudos to the people who do it, because I cannot. And then at this Sprouts, it was so busy all the goddamn time, unless it was early as fuck in the morning or late as fuck at night. It was literally so busy all the time. It was just customer after customer after customer after customer after customer. Dealing with that many customer interactions back to back to back was starting to take a toll on my mental health so bad that I had to request FMLA, ADA, or whatever accommodation for mental health days. I had to use my mental illness to my advantage and request mental health days because it was getting so bad. I only stayed at that job for 3 months. I literally left and never came back, and I blocked the store, and I blocked everybody in the store too. Don't call me. I will not even walk past the Sprouts. That's how traumatized I am from working there. But anyway, so this particular day, it was during the grocery store rush from like 3 to 6 when everybody's getting off. They're coming to get their dinner for their kids. They're coming to grocery shop for the week, whatever the case may be. So we have lines way in the back of the store, damn near. Mind you, it's 5 cashiers plus me, and the lines are still in the back of the store, damn near. And when we called for backup, nobody ever wanted to come up and help, of course. So, boom. I open my cash register and I open a line. Boom. As soon as I open my cash register, people start rushing over. So, boom, this lady, she gets up there first. So she comes up. I say, hey, how you doing? And the first thing she says to me is there an extra $5 coupon? Because I forgot mine at home. First of all, did I not just speak to you? Did I not just say hi? Who raised y'all? When somebody says hi, you say hello back, and then you can start the conversation. Don't just come up to me demanding shit and you can't even say hi. So I say no, we don't. Because we didn't. We didn't keep no universal $5 coupon because they always had this fucking $5 off when you spend a certain amount of groceries. They had that going on like all the time when I was there. So they would give you a coupon on the end of your receipt for the $5 off, or they would send it to you in the mail. So, customers, they would come in with their coupon, or whatever the case may be. So they didn't give us a universal coupon to just give to customers just because you forgot yours, So I'm like, no, we don't. Oh, well, why? Because we don't? Because we don't? What do you want me to tell you? We don't have it. Mind you, we used to save the $5 coupons off of receipts that customers didn't want to, just in case somebody forgot theirs and they're like a family of 5 or something, and we want to give them a little discount. So we used to save the coupons from the receipts that the customers didn't want. But that's for us to use at our discretion, because first of all, we probably shouldn't even be doing that. We probably shouldn't even be doing that. So that's for us to use on whoever we want to use it on. I'm not going to give you one because you came up automatically being rude. I don't know. So no, I don't have one. Sorry, not for you. So yeah, after we're going back and forth about that, she's like, oh, well, can you find one? Like, there has to be a way. Like, you can't just give it to me off. No, I can't. I might be the supervisor, and yes, I have the ability to discount, but I'm not just going to give you a $5 discount because you forgot your coupon. You should have bought it. Like, you knew you was coming, you should have bought the coupon. I don't know what to tell you. So she gives up. She rolls her eyes. Boom. Attitude. So I start ringing up her stuff. Mind you, she brought in her own bags. So normally when customers bring in their own bags, because here where I live, you have to pay for bags. So normally when customers bring in their own bags, they don't mind bagging because they want to make sure everything fits in the bags that they brought, because they don't want to have to buy a bag. So I never really had this problem too much. But again, I don't mind bagging because I do get, well, I ain't gonna say I get paid to bag. I'm the supervisor, but like this is a part of my job or whatever. Cool. You need me to bag? I don't mind. So I'm scanning. She's just standing there. Her bags are sitting, where the food goes after you scan it. And she's just standing there. So I'm like, okay, she wants me to bag. So I pick up her bags and I proceed to put her stuff in the bag. Mind you, bagging is not rocket science. Of course, I'm not going to put hot with cold. I'm not going to put your eggs under some potatoes. You feel me? It's not rocket science. So I know what I'm doing. She didn't like that, apparently. So she goes, oh no, you have to take everything out and start over. I don't like that. You need to put this with this, and I want this with this, and this with this, and this and this, and this and this, and you have to start over. Take everything out, start over. I'm looking like, do what now? Do you see this line of people? The line is damn near to the back of the store. You want me to do what? Mind you, did not pick up one bag to help me. So I said, you know, this could go a lot faster and a lot easier if, you know, if I had a little help. And then I said, teamwork makes the dream work. Baby, she got so mad. She got so mad that I said, teamwork makes the dream work. She said, she literally gave me the coldest look I've ever seen. And she said, I don't get paid to do that. You do. So do it. Huh? What? Do what? I'm not doing a fuck thing now. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. So I continue to scan because I'm not taking your groceries out and redoing it the specific way that you want it done when you're standing right there with two hands and you can do it yourself. The fuck? I'm trying to get you out of my line so I can get the next person and get this line down. Who are you talking to? So boom, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I continue to scan. I'm like, I'm not taking it out of the bag. You're just gonna have to be mad. If you want it bagged a certain way, you take it out and you do it yourself. She didn't like that. So now we arguing. We arguing in the line. We going back and forth. I'm still scanning her stuff because I'm trying to get her out. Mind you, she has a bunch of fucking groceries. Like she literally has so many groceries. So I'm just scanning. I'm trying to get her out of my line as fast as I motherfucking can. But I'm not bagging these groceries now since you got something to say. You can bag them yourself. I'm not your motherfucking do boy. Like, what do you think this is? So, boom, we're going back and forth. She is being so nasty out the mouth to me to the point where the customer behind her literally stopped her and was like, you're being extremely rude right now. And there's a line full of people and we're all trying to check out. Literally, the customer had to tell her that she was being too rude. Like, you're being too rude now at this point. You're being really rude and you're holding up the line. Just bag your groceries and go home. Like, what the fuck? So I guess when I'm telling her she's being rude, my words don't count because I'm just a little grocery store worker. But when the customer tells you you're being rude, now you're embarrassed and you want to shut up. So once the customer checks her, she shuts up and she starts bagging her groceries. I ring her out. I did not give her the coupon and she goes home. And I continue to talk about her with the rest of the customers because who the fuck did she think she was talking to? Literally, we dogged her so bad after she left that store. The customer behind her literally had to apologize on her behalf. That's how rude she was being to me. I will never do grocery ever again. Ever.
I fumbled the man I probably should have married, and I'm making this post so that y'all don't do the same thing that I did. This is an accountability post. I met him on Hinge, and this was back when the algorithm was working a lot better, and it was like 2022, I believe. I didn't like his profile. I just knew he was gonna like me, and the next day he did. Normally I name names, but just in case he has a new girl and they're at peace, I don't want to disrupt his situation, so I'm not gonna name his name. But anyway, we met up quickly, we went on a date, and we ended up being like glued to each other pretty fast. We were like in a relationship within like a month, I believe. He locked it down. He was not trying to see me single. This man was fine. He was like 6'3", buff, long hair. He looked like Roman Reigns. Society would easily give him a 9, easily. And if you know me, you know who I'm talking about. But frankly, his looks were pretty irrelevant, honestly. He actually was very kind, very sweet, very empathetic, very emotional, very in tune with his emotions, but also quite emotional. And, you know, he just had a lot of very positive traits. The number one being, he did not play about me at all. We went to brunch with his brother and sister-in-law, and they were kind of cold, like not really like, I don't know, warming up to me. And he called that out immediately. He was like, absolutely not. When his brother was not trying to get to know me after like we had met, he was like, can you put more effort in with Britt? Like, that's my girl. Like, put some respect on Britt's name. Like, he did not play about me at all. I had never in my life dated a man like that. I had never dated a man who was on my side. Like, who, like, I don't know, defended me. I've never had that before. He also impressed my parents. My mom liked him a lot. She said I broke his heart, and honestly, I agree. But yes, my parents liked him a lot. So we dated for like 6 months, and I kept feeling like something was just missing throughout the relationship. Like something just felt like it was missing. And I would communicate that to him like, oh, I like you a lot. I love you, but like something's just missing. And I didn't know what it was. And this poor guy was just doing his best to try to figure out what was missing, like trying to make adjustments, but like he just couldn't figure it out, and neither could I, because I didn't have the self-awareness that I have now. What was missing was chaos. No matter how many adjustments he was willing to make, he couldn't adjust himself to become a chaotic, toxic man when he just wasn't that. And that's all I had ever been used to. You see, I had not taken the time to like truly heal myself after my relationship prior to him, which was with an abusive guy. Very abusive, emotionally avoidant guy. Emotionally unavailable, everything. Okay, I had not healed from that. Not enough to be with a person who was safe. And so one day when he pissed me off, I broke up with him like on a whim. Because the majority of my prior relationships were with like antagonistic men, I was not ready to receive someone who was safe and loving and kind and caring. Maybe I didn't think I deserved it. Maybe I couldn't recognize what it was. My nervous system didn't know what to do with safe. My parents were kind of emotionally unavailable. Growing up in that dynamic, you kind of look for that in partners as well. So I ended up with emotionally unavailable men back to back to back. That brings me to my next point. For a while, what I felt like the relationship was lacking was him being a true leader. He would defer to me to make a lot of decisions because he felt like I was more intelligent than him. He would want me to like plan stuff. He would want me to just like make a lot of choices that I felt like the man should make. And I just didn't want to do that. I wanted like a leader in the way that I saw leader, how I viewed it. But like knowing that he has weaknesses and that I have strengths, and then deferring to me where he's weak and letting him take the reins where he's strong is leadership. Like, okay, he could lead when it comes to protecting and providing and whatever, but he may have needed help with planning and stuff that he's not so good at. But I just couldn't see that at the time because I was dumb. I thought I needed 10 out of 10 boxes checked. But relationships are not found, they are built. Soulmates are built. Boxes can be built. If the person is at 7 or 8 and the last 2 need some work, you can meet them halfway. They can meet you halfway. Adjustments can be made. You don't have to break up. So though he had 8 of my 10 boxes, I was still too traumatized to accept him. I couldn't regulate my own nervous system fully yet. I had gotten to that point at 25 and met a very abusive man at 26, and I lost all my progress. So I still needed chaos, and I ruined it. The next guy I dated after that ended up being another avoidant who was emotionally unavailable and ended up breaking my heart worse than anybody else I'd ever experienced in my entire life. So I got my karma pretty fast, I guess. Let this be a lesson. If you've met someone who's good, they protect you well, they show up, they love you, but you feel like something's missing or something feels off or whatever the case may be, or it feels boring, make sure that something is not just the trauma that you're used to. Make sure that, you have healed enough to even receive what they're offering you. You don't need a perfect man. You just need a man that checks enough boxes that you can work with the rest.
Okay, so y'all, story time of how I got set up, jumped, and my phone stolen all in one night. Okay, so y'all, I was like just going into like 9th grade, so it was like the first week in 9th grade, and I was like just getting to know people, whatever. And I had this homeboy named J-Bo that I knew since I was in like middle school, and then I met Nara in middle school, which was my homegirl. She was like my only friend around this time, so like she was the person I would talk to about everything. Just like we was all hang out, like just we was close. So me, Quay, Nara had lunch together, and we were sitting at this table. We were sitting at the same table this one time, and then that's when Quay had brought up his girlfriend or whatever, and like he was talking about her or something, and I was like, oh, what your girlfriend look like? So he showed me what she looked like. I was like, oh, type shit, like she cute type shit. So then like a couple of days later, or like a week later, J-Bo had posted the same girl, but like on some friend shit, and I was like, oh, is this Quay girlfriend? I had replied, I was like, his Quay girlfriend. So me not knowing that the girl had J-Bo account, she took that offensive or some shit, and she was like thinking I fuck with him or some shit, like popping it. I'm just like, okay. So that's when I started popping it back, knowing me. Okay, so I really don't know how or why Nara inserted herself into this, but she had inserted herself into it. Okay, so then like a week later, I had found out, mind you, okay, so before this, it's already like a whole clique versus clique beef, because she had got her friends in it or whatever. It was, I didn't even know she had a twin at this time, but it was her twin sister, her, and Myra. Myra is my cousin, but Jalea is her best friend, so she chose them on her, so she's weird automatically. But then, so it was like them 3 versus me and Nara. Like we was arguing on Instagram or some shit, just petty shit, because she thought I wanted her nigga, and I did not want her nigga. So like that weekend of the first week of school, Quay had found out that Jalea was over at J-Bo house, and he didn't like that because like he found that weird or whatever. So that's when he was flirting with me and some shit. So I was like, I'm gonna make this bitch mad on some petty shit. Like, not gonna lie, I would never do no shit like that now. But like back then, yeah, I was gonna like just, you know, flirt with him or whatever, just to, you know, stir the pot. So me and Nara had decided to go to the mall with Quay and her boyfriend that she was talking to at the moment, which was EJ. So we went to the mall that Saturday, and then Jalea had found out. She was mad, like she was texting, popping or whatever, and then I had J-Bo account on my phone, so I had went live on his account. I'm just chilling, like we just posted up in the camera, just being petty, just like acting like we don't give a fuck. No, we gave a fuck. So then J-Bo got mad, like he wanted to fight Quay and EJ. So after all the argument at the mall and stuff, we had finally set a place to meet up to fight or whatever. Like Quay was supposed to pull up, Quay and EJ was supposed to pull up to fight J-Bo, and I don't know who J-Bo was with, but he was supposed to pull up to fight somebody with J-Bo. I can't remember who he was with. And I was supposed to fight Jalea, and Nara was supposed to fight Jalea's twin sister, and it was only supposed to be one more other person, which was Mara, my cousin. So we get home or whatever, we get ready to go fight. We like I had called J-Bo because I felt like I could trust J-Bo, so I'm like, hey, no jumping shit, like, oh God, like y'all better not be on no jumping shit, like be cool. He's like, ain't nobody jumping, it's just us, like everybody who was supposed to be. So we stood in the trenches, so we had Nara's sister come, her older sister, and we had Nara's brother come, which is her younger brother. And then so we had told her mama that we was going to the mall or something. We told her we was going somewhere, but we really got an Uber and went to the park. So we pull up to the park. It's a whole group of dudes fighting. Like, it was like dudes from our school. Like, I didn't even know what these people had to do with anything. I don't know why they was fighting, but they was fighting. Like, and then it's like a park with the slide and all that. I look over there. It's like 5 girls standing up there. I'm like, my adrenaline was high. So my adrenaline be high, I be on go. So I didn't even care who was up there. I just walked up into the middle of the field, and I'm just like standing there like, what's up? I didn't even look at the boys fighting. This was a red flag of Anara. Like, Anara didn't even walk up with me. She stayed with her sister, talk about they gonna jump, something like that, which was smart. But still, my friend going out there with some girls, I'm gonna go with her still. So Jalea was standing right there, but she did not like step into the field to fight me. She was trying to, like, I don't know what she was doing, but she was just standing there. That's when this fat ass bitch ran down the stairs and ran up on me, y'all. I didn't even know who this girl was from Adam and Eve. This bitch ran up on me, and we started fighting. Y'all, I was beating her ass. I ended up getting her on the ground, and I was on top of her, and I was like hitting her. So that's when Jalea jumped in. She grabbed me by my hair, and she pulled me off her. And that's when Anara like stepped out, but she stepped back, and that's when I'm getting jumped. So when Anara stepped up, Jalea kind of like bucked at Anara, and then that's when Jalea let me go, and that's when Emway started fighting me again, which was the fat girl name who ran up on me. Her name is Emway. So we're fighting. She ended up getting me back. She didn't get me back on the ground. She never had me on the ground. I had her on the ground first. We had got up, and then that's when we fell again. She rolled over on top of me, and then she sat on me, and when she sat on me, y'all, it was over with. Y'all know what happened. She was over with. I couldn't get up. I was just trying to fight back. I was just fighting back. That's all I was doing. So they ended up breaking up that fight, and then I'm yelling because I just got jumped, so I was mad. And that's when Jalea tells Mara, which is my cousin, she tell her to run up on me. And I'm like, no, wait, let me catch my breath, then we can run that fade. So Jalea was like, ain't nobody give a fuck about that shit, run up on that bitch. So Mara run up on me. I'm fighting her against the fence, I'm uppercutting her ass, I'm whipping her ass. And in the middle of me and Mara fighting, Jalea and Nara start fighting somehow, but Nara was losing. So that's when Nara's sister dropped my phone to help her sister, which I would do that too for my sister. Wait, no, Nara's sister didn't drop my phone. Nara's sister dropped her phone. And that's when Nara's brother had my phone. He was recording from my phone. He was on live from my phone, actually. So that's when, as Nara's sister jumped in for her sister, Nara's sister started fighting the twin sister. So everybody just fighting. So that's when they break it up. For some reason, somehow, mind you, the only boy that was with us was Nara's little brother. So y'all remember when I told you all them boys was fighting each other in the beginning when we first walked in there? Why all of them literally kumbaya and started jumping this girl little brother? Like, they all started jumping him. Like, I'm talking about They took his pants off. They was jumping him. Like, mind you, this little boy was in 6th grade at the time. So they all high schoolers jumping this little ass boy. So as they jumping him, I'm like, I'm not even worried about fighting the girls no more. I'm just trying to get them off of the boy because he's a little ass boy. But I'm not finna hit these niggas. I knew if I would have hit their ass, they was finna knock off my ass. Because I was finna fight one of the little boys. Because he started yelling in my face, so I pushed his ass. I didn't even know who he was. But he had went and told his sister or whatever. But, I already fought her. So she was, his sister is Emily, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, I already fought her. So she didn't, come back. But everybody was trying to get not everybody. While all them boys was jumping on the little boy, me, Nara, and Nara's sister was trying to get the boys off of him. Yeah. So that's when the police pulled up because somebody from the neighborhood called the police, and then they all took off running. They picked up my phone and Nara's brother's phone. They picked up the phones and they took off running. I took off running too. I didn't take off running with them, but I took off running the opposite way, and I had ran in some bushes. I ended up coming out the bushes 2 minutes after because I'm scared of bugs. So I was like, hell no, this life not for me. So that's when the police came or whatever, and then they was asking what happened. And they was, so somehow Emway mama pulled up. I don't know how she knew who it was, but she pulled up looking for Emway. So that's when Nara's sister was telling the police what happened or whatever, and her boyfriend also pulled up. So she was telling the police what happened or whatever, and I told the police I need my phone back. That's when I went to talk to them, because I told them somebody got my phone. I don't know which one of them little niggas got my phone, but one of them got my phone. So Nara had my location, and I looked from her phone to find my location on my phone, and it said my phone was in somebody's backyard. So the police went over there. They said they went to look for it, but they didn't find it. And then that's when my phone had powered off. And yeah, later that night, they had went on live, popping it with my phone and the boy phone.
So today's first story is, am I wrong for ruining my sister-in-law's birthday by crying? I, 43 male, am an advanced paramedic in critical care. This means I'm trained to treat very serious injury and illness, and also work in my service's emergency operations center to monitor emergency calls and dispatch to other APCCs. Because it's a high-stress job and my shifts can easily overrun, I usually only commit to social events on my day offs. Recently, my sister-in-law, 40 female, booked a meal at a nice restaurant to celebrate her birthday. I initially told my partner, 44 male, I couldn't go as I had a 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. shift that day. However, he really wanted me to go. So I got my shift changed from ambulance crew to EOC, thinking it would decrease the chance of being too late or too drained to go. The shift was awful. My country's healthcare system is extremely overburdened, and I had to make a lot of difficult decisions prioritizing calls. Near the end of my shift, I had to input on a complex, distressing call, which took almost 2 hours. I left work 90 minutes late and got to the restaurant about 20 minutes late, in uniform and very tired. When I arrived, sister-in-law sarcastically said it was nice of me to finally show up and to make such an effort with my clothes. I apologized, saying I had a call that overran. My partner asked about the call, and I said I didn't want to discuss it as it was upsetting and probably inappropriate for sister-in-law's daughter, 8 female, to hear. Brother-in-law, 38 male, said it was just a call and I wasn't actually there. So if I'm going to use it as an excuse to disrespect his wife, I should tell them what happened. I said it wasn't an excuse. I couldn't just hang up emergency calls when I felt like it. And sister-in-law said I shouldn't have taken the call when I knew I had to leave. I said I was the only AP on duty, so what was I supposed to do? Make a junior dispatcher do my job for me? Sister-in-law said not everything was about me or how important my special job is, especially not her birthday. I was honestly so overwhelmed I started crying. Although I know it was probably an overreaction, I was also really embarrassed as I don't cry in front of others, so I went to the toilet to calm down. My partner came to check on me and I said I just wanted to go home. He said it was fine. He explained to sister-in-law and brother-in-law, so I left. When he got home later, he said sister-in-law and brother-in-law were furious that I ruined the meal by making it about me, as they felt I should have made sure I was on time and out of uniform, or at least been more understanding about why sister-in-law was upset. I said sister-in-law made it about me by being rude over a 20-minute delay when I was clearly exhausted. And he said I couldn't expect others to manage my stress for me when I chose a high-stress job. I said I was managing my stress when I said I couldn't go. And he said he also had a stressful job and still doesn't use it as an excuse to flake on his family. He wants me to apologize to sister-in-law, and I'm still hurt over the situation. However, I feel really bad for ruining the meal, and I'm worried I did overreact and make everybody cater to my emotions. So, am I the asshole?